Yo, welcome into the Polish AmbassaDao podcast. This is your host, Dojo. It's great to have you again in the cockpit to talk all things Web3, music, talk with builders, creatives, artists, interesting folks. So again, if you missed episode 1, sat down with David Cygowski, a.k.a. the Polish ambassador himself. We've embarked on this great journey to explore Web3, see what this space is all about. And we're learning a lot. We're building a project and we're getting to meet some really cool people in our community and in adjacent communities. And today we've got a barn burner for you because we've actually got someone on our team, Jacob Lill, a.k.a. WiggleWork.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah. What's going on, Dojo?
Dude, it's so great to have you, man. I felt like, these early episodes, we got to feature, our own squad and learn a little bit more about folks. So for people that don't know you, let's just jump into who the heck are you, man? I know you're the magician, but who are you?
Yeah, man, I ask myself that almost every day, but this is what I figured out so far. So I'm Jake. I'm WiggleWork in my musical career. So I like to make people dance, like to share that wiggly energy. And then I'm also a crypto enthusiast, developer, a Taoist of sorts, and just trying to actively create the world that I want to live in.
I love that. Taoist. I haven't heard that. So it was like Buddhist, but a Taoist, the other Taoist. That's amazing, man. Well, and let's maybe, before we hop into like crypto, NFTs, you've been involved in lots of projects, built hundreds of different tools, and we can certainly talk about your involvement on our project, but maybe we can even rewind the tape. And before you got into this space, before Web3 was even here, what were you up to? And maybe you can talk a little bit about the precursors to Web3.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, before Web3, that feels like a lifetime ago. I've been in this space for quite a while now, but I guess my first big project was within the cannabis space, the medical marijuana industry. So I have always been very passionate about patient access and the medical benefits of cannabis. And I was very early in on that industry. I got started as an activist. I got started just like learning and learning what was possible with the plant, and then fighting for what I believed was to be right. And then I ended up opening up my first dispensary in my very early 20s.
And this is Colorado, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? So this is like
Colorado.
Was it legal at that point in time, or like talk to me about?
It was legal.
It was okay.
It's been legal in Colorado for quite a while now, but there was very few dispensaries until about 2008 when President Obama essentially gave the go-ahead. And even the Attorney General said they wouldn't use federal resources to supersede state laws. So as soon as that happened, people started to say, okay, well, great, we'll do it. Even if it's not legally federally, it's legal at a state level, and president says it's okay, so we'll go ahead and do it. And I was one of the early adopters of that philosophy. So we opened up my first dispensary. It was called Medical Cannabis Colorado. God, that takes me back.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, no, it was a very cool place. And then we opened up Colorado Independent Wellness Consultants as well too, which was the first dedicated medical marijuana doctor's office in the state. Which, we saw lots and lots of patients, and I learned everybody's stories, and like it was just so eye-opening and so cool. And we had amazing doctors there, and I'm just this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed little 20-year-old, just like, what's going on here? And that love and that energy spread, and we quickly became really well known and really big. I think High Times even said we had the best cannabis and prices in the state. And wow. After that happened, even more people came. Yep. And I became the biggest caregiver in Colorado in, I think it was 2009. And I worked with attorneys and different groups and helped to enact some of the laws that are in place even today in Colorado, which is really cool. And I helped a lot of other dispensaries and grows get started. And that was back into the days. That was the old wild west. It was a lot of fun.
You're just always an OG pioneer, just on the bleeding edge of adoption of new technologies. I love it.
I've gotten lucky a couple of times in life, and cannabis was definitely the first one. But I've also found that when you focus on something that you truly love, that you're truly passionate about, I don't know, magic tends to happen. So after I got all that in Colorado, I decided that it was time to continue the cannabis journey. So I ended up going out to Nevada, out to Las Vegas. And out there, I actually tried to do it a little bit different. I started a nonprofit patient-owned medical marijuana cooperative. And it was a true patient-owned cooperative. It was really, really neat. And all the patients there would grow the cannabis. They would share it with everybody. Everybody was winning. And the really cool thing about that place is we were able to enact a large-scale business that was able to give medicine to people regardless of what they were able to contribute. Wow. So somebody would come in and they'd say, "Hey, I'd like that ounce of that over there," and we'd say, "Well, that's a recommended $350 donation." And they might say, "Well, I only have $100," and we'd say, "Well, here you go. Thank you for your donation." Wow. Or they might say, "My medical bills have been crazy this week, and I don't really have any money, but I need that." And say, "Well, thank you for being a member. Here you go." And through that, we started the Giving Green Foundation, which helped end-of-life patients with the cost of dying in this country. And we were able to give away a lot of money, cash, no questions asked. And, really just support people in that difficult time in life when it might be coming to a close, and doing whatever we can to help them feel love and help them just feel a little bit more comfortable. And it was really remarkable what we were able to accomplish. I mean, the average age of our patients was 57 years old, which, as long as I was in the cannabis industry, I never heard of anything like that. But really creating a hyper professional environment and a very educational, rich environment, especially early in on the game, was almost unheard of.
Wow, that's incredible. And actually bringing me back to, I just lost my stepmom in the last 2 years, and actually was there kind of at the end. And now that you're mentioning this, actually, there was some medical cannabis that really helped ease and comfort not just her, but the family, knowing that she was in a great space. So wow, that must have been, a powerful yet emotionally heavy space to be in.
It was a lot. And especially being on the forefront of the legalization and all that comes with that was definitely a lot. But the joy and the lightness you would almost see in people, and the transition, somebody who's been having a hard time for a very long time I saw this so many times, it's not even funny, a grocery bag full of pills. And then a month later, they're on half as much or a quarter as much, and they have a big old smile on their face, and they've got this liveliness to them, and just seeing that transition in people, amazing.
Come on, yeah, that's why you do the work.
That was actually, while I was doing that, I kicked myself. That was the first time I heard about Bitcoin, and
really,
while I was looking for a solution to safely store a bunch of money, which
how do we do this in different ways?
Banks weren't working with marijuana at the time, so it was what am I going to do? Just keep filling up these safety deposit rooms with cash? That doesn't make sense. So it was more so the digital asset and the ability to transfer it and send it to people and do all these different things, and not to have to deal with all this cash safety.
No, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So let's fast forward.
Yeah. I was going to say fast forward the tape, and then
So started another company called Effortless Rental Group, which
okay.
was decentralized property management, and we did like Airbnbs and VRBOs, and that quickly grew and ended up turning into over $100 million of real estate under management in under 2 years, and over 10,000 guests a month, and just like all this wild stuff all over the country. And I ended up, that was when I really started to get hardcore into software development. I started building internal technologies to accommodate all that stuff. When I was in the cannabis space, I dipped my toe in. I helped a platform called mmjmenus.com, which became the largest used point of sales for the cannabis industry, and got acquired by Weedmaps a few years later. So that was my very first dab into tech. And then I built that out there. We ended up franchising that company. And that's also when crypto came back around a second time. Nice. And it hit me, and it hit me hard. And this was back in the day where when it hit you, like it knocked you off the horse.
And what's the timeline at this point? Because I stalked you a little bit, went back on your Instagram, and it's like, oh, there's my guy Jake with Vitalik, and like the CEO of Ripple, and like you're an OG. I got in like 6 months ago, man. You've been in for years. So like, what was it like when you got hit that second time, got hit really hard? Like,
well, so I almost got hit by accident. Again, I was looking to crypto for the utility of it. I was trying to accomplish something online, and Bitcoin was the best way to do it. So I figured it out, and this was back in the day. So there was a bit of a learning curve. I think the first Bitcoin I ever bought was out of an ATM.
Wow.
So it wasn't too hard. But I ended up doing what I had to do, and I had a little bit extra in my account, and I fucking forgot about it because it was like $5 or something. And then I come back a couple months later, and it's just grown by leaps and bounds. Like
what just happened?
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, it does that too? So then I got deep. Then I started getting Ethereum and Bitcoin and Ripple and all these different ones. And time is hard. I think this is like 2014, 2015, but I remember crypto prices more than I remember dates. So I think when I got into Ethereum, it was still in the single digits. I think it was like $6 or something. Wow. And I ended up getting a little chunk, nothing insane, but a decent little chunk. And I remember I was in New York when it really like exploded. And I was just like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then XRP, like I fell in love with that too, because that was the first like just exponential explosion I ever witnessed. I didn't even think that was possible until I hit Ripple, and I saw a fraction of a penny turn into a few dollars. Like that opened my eye up to what was possible. And like as soon as I saw those 1,000% gains in seconds, I was just like,
you're like, huh?
Okay,
what's
I
going
have
on
to
here?
Stop everything that I'm doing, and I have to focus solely on that. And that's honestly what I did. And to tell you the truth, people looked at me like I was fucking insane. Sorry to curse, but this is what, like I said, I was doing the real estate stuff, and I had this booming short-term rental company that was franchising and just growing very quickly. And I stepped down as the CEO so I could focus fully on crypto.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you doing and let's toggle in the music piece here, because were you making music at that point too? Or like, I know that you got deep love
so I
Polish, but
once I fall in love with something, I'm all about it. So I've been making music since I was 13, 14 years old.
Even deeper. Yeah.
I started playing shows and stuff when I was 17, 18, and started getting some traction and momentum. before I hit the dispensaries and stuff. And I remember there was a day, and I still look back on this often, and it was like the middle of winter, and there was like snow everywhere. And this was back in the day of turntables too. So
Okay.
heavy gear, heavy records, heavy all that stuff. And I brought out my turntables and all my records and everything to this place to do a show on like a Wednesday night, and like 2 people showed up, and I'm like, I have 1 million pounds of weed to give to the people tomorrow, and I'm out till 2 in the morning and nobody's here. And then I kind of, I put a pause on the music. I was like, all right, I got to focus on this side. But I always figured out ways to incorporate music into it. Like all my dispensaries, I had DJ booths set up in it.
Nice.
So I was sitting out there playing around with music while people were coming in, and it was fantastic. And then I continued making music. Like it's always been what I do, just because I love it. And like over time, like it started getting so interesting and cool, where like it almost felt selfish to just like keep making all this music for myself and never share it with anybody and not put it out there. And I was like listening to my own mixes, and I'd still do a couple shows a year here and there. But yeah, then I really got back into it maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the rest has been history. Just show after show, and just making the people dance, getting funky.
I love it, man. And now you're, I mean, imagine at ETH Denver, I think you mentioned, so privately before, MYT or NYC NFT. Like, I mean, there's these crypto meetups and huge conferences now, that used to just be like a couple dozen people that are now like thousands of people, where we're combining all of these different things.
Just to see how the crypto industry and space has changed and transformed and grown. It's amazing. Like I've been going to meetups, and I've been hosting meetups as well too for many, many years. And I remember when it was just a few nerds talking about crypto and decentralization and these concepts. And even the first ETH Denver that I participated in, I remember sneaking in my DJ setup and speakers and lights and projectors and stuff, and be like, oh God, I hope they don't see me bringing these in, so I could throw the WiggleWork secret all night party. I've been doing that for a couple of years for ETH Denver, and now like this last year, it was like a better lineup than a lot of festivals were there. I mean, even Polish did a show there.
Yeah.
Like it's so amazing to see. And yeah, I've been lucky to share my music with ETH Denver for a long time. When they launched their DAO, the Sport DAO launch, I ended up, I think, playing like a 6-hour DJ set for the entire live stream party. And then this year I played the closing party, and it's so much fun. And I love seeing these two worlds collide. Like that's what gets me going, is seeing the creative space and the music space coming into the crypto space, and both sides of the fence, seeing what the other can do for them. Like so much is possible with music. And I mean the Polish AmbassaDao and all the stuff that we're working on, so much is possible when you take blockchain technologies, decentralized ownership, NFTs, all these great things, and you put it out there. And what I'm excited about is, as more and more artists and creative folks start integrating these technologies, what they're going to dream of. Because I've brainstormed with a lot of people, and brainstorming with David is so much fun, because he has such a unique perspective and such a unique experience that he brings to the table too. And being able to take those ideas and figure out ways to incorporate them into everything, it's a dream for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I love your enthusiasm and passion in the space. I mean, the creative energy that you bring. I mean, the music. I mean, so many beautiful things. And then I also think, oh yeah, like the main role that you have on our project is like the technical wizard, and I mean the solidity expert, and like there's this whole other channel of. So I mean, first question, like, were you self-taught? Did you take courses? Did you read books? Like, I am fascinated with like, how does one even get up to speed on this whole world of smart contracts and like all these different, it feels like there's some deep math and like really smart people have looked at this for a really long time. Like, but you've been one of those people as well.
Yeah. So, when I got into software development, I didn't go to school. I completely self-taught in that aspect. And I think the perspective that I brought to the software development side is more of like a process systems driven side. And like, this is what we're trying to accomplish. So how do we make the software do that? And then the software was almost secondary to understanding what should take place. So it was almost just like reverse engineering the process. So that's how I kind of got into software. And I say self-taught, but that just means lots of YouTube videos, reading lots of stuff. And there was so many years where I was trying to learn how to develop things and it just hadn't clicked yet. Like I could make this or that, but like it wasn't worth anything. Like it wouldn't do anything notable. And it was just like, I almost want to say I learned through like osmosis of just continuing to expose myself to different videos and different ideas and looking at things and trying to break them and rebuild them. And wait a minute, this code will do this. Can I make it do that? And just trying and trying and trying. And more so than anything with development, both crypto and just Web 2 development, it's finding a process and a system that worked right for me. And, the way I develop stuff is way different than a lot of other people develop stuff, but it works for me. And there's a million ways to skin a cat. And I found something where I can accomplish virtually anything that I dream of and whip it out pretty quick. And I'm super grateful for that.
I like it. Yeah. And what was it, a weekend or two ago, we got to go down with Polish down to Lucidity and check out the live set there. We got to go down to San Diego. I mean, sold out 650 person venue downtown outside, which was super cool. And you helped build this new technology. What do you call it? Quick Wallet, right?
Quick Wallet, yeah.
Like, so we had like a little booth and we're like, hey, if you're, do you like the Polish ambassador, the Polish ambassador? And people were like, heck yeah. And we're like, would you like a free digital collectible? Would you, like we're starting to like broach, kind of these people that have never seen, never heard of, Web3 or NFTs now are all of a sudden like getting a wallet and like getting set up in their first foray. So, so number one, thank you. And number two, I guess what we're, like, as you build out new technology, like, I don't know, like, it feels like there's so much creative potential.
Well, thank you. I think so too. No, so like that was a super, super cool experience. And Quick Wallet has been so cool to see it like come to life a little bit. And what I've really focused on the last couple of years is finding situations and finding problems and finding things that inspire me and need solutions. And I like to kind of like engineer the space and the situations around me that'll be the most likely to inspire that inspiration. So like Quick Wallet, we're talking about incorporating crypto and NFTs and digital collectibles in a very like user-friendly, soft, gentle way into live events. And, I looked around at what else was out there and said, no, maybe there's a way to do it a little bit different or try something else. And it seemed to go pretty smooth out there. And then earlier this week, just a couple days ago, Harmony One, the blockchain and cryptocurrency, they decided to use Quick Wallet for one of their meetups in San Francisco. And they used that to give all the attendees POAPs and get everybody's info. And it's so cool to see these things take life and really get out there. And I think that's one of the really neat things about the Web3 space is there's so many solutions that haven't been dreamed up yet where the opportunities are there for just about anybody to get in there and say, we've done this way up until this point, but what if we try something new? And, resources are available, and it's just getting involved and putting out those next ideas.
Yeah. And I guess, and you've been pretty heavily involved with Burning Man as well, right? Like Campus Central. And I'm just thinking of like, that must just be like a basket full of fun to like explore all these new, options and build new tech. And like, do you want to maybe tell people a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I sure do. So again, like when there's this intersection of my loves and passions, I just get really, really excited. So forgive my giggles. But yeah, when I got introduced to Camp Decentral, wow. One, just the community there is just such spectacular builders and doers and connectors, and just such amazing people within the Web3 space. But like Burning Man is a very, very harsh condition, and it creates this opportunity to test out all these things. And let's throw up 150-person community for a week in the desert, and let's figure out how to operate. And there's so much that goes into that, and especially with our camp, with all the infrastructure and the big 100-foot geodomes and the enormous illuminate straight shade structures and the steam showers, just all the crazy things. I won't say anything else, but all the crazy things.
We'll keep it PG.
Yeah, exactly. It creates such an interesting testing ground for especially Web3 technologies. And the cool thing about our camp is we're completely blockchain based. So camp dues are paid with crypto. If there's any rentals or anything, that's all done with crypto. So I got involved, and I was absolutely blown away. We're part of the Anahasana village with Camp Contact and Naked Heart. And our gift to the playa is 100+ hours of crypto education. So we do workshops and we do fish bowls, and it's some of the most amazing moments I've ever had in the Web3 space, is creating this community of burners from around the world and figuring out what can be improved with these technologies. So after getting involved, I built out this thing, which doesn't exactly have a name right now. I actually need to figure that out. But essentially what it is, it's a Burning Man camp management system, i.e. a community building platform. And it's completely crypto based. There's a big application where you fill it out. And then I created this cool thing where it strips away all the sensitive information. So we vote on people based on validity. And then there's a board of 8 people that vote between hell no, no, maybe, yes, and hell yes. And then each one is allotted a certain number of points, and there's a whole decentralized voting. Then you go in and there's a dashboard that has project management, it has crypto portals to pay your dues, it has a bunch of collaboration tools, it has the open knowledge protocol built into there, so we can share all the stuff that we learn as a camp and share it with other camps. And there's just a plethora of tools that a group like that would need to get together for a week and make it all happen. And to test it in the micro makes it a really fun thing.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And hopefully more and more camps or, communities can pick up and use tools. Like I know that that's one of the things that really drives you, right? It's not just to build this one time for one community in 1 year, but like if we can really create platforms or systems that set up, lots of users, to not have to build it out every single time, right? But to kind of stand on the shoulders of giants, so to speak.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly it. And it's so cool. I was talking about it before, to see the stuff start to take a life of itself. But I built this pre-pandemic before any of the Burning Man was canceled and all the Renegade burns and all that stuff. So we didn't use it for the last couple of years. And then come along this year and there's all this interest all over the place. And it's so cool to see it get incorporated. And I see that as an opportunity to see another community's perspective on things and what can be improved and what can be made better. And it almost just takes a life of itself at that point.
Yeah, nice. Well, let's maybe kind of winding it down. Talk to us a little bit about your connection to Polish and why you got involved in this project.
The music has always resonated with me in a very special way, like I'm sure just about every Polish fan can say. And it always just was almost a soundtrack to my life ever since I found him. And even when I was learning to code and learning Web3 and learning all these things, I mean, it was Polish in the background sometimes for 12-hour nights, just like listening to the same mix over and over and over till I'm like, this is the fourth time I've heard this. I need to switch it up a little bit. Yeah.
Try it next.
Yeah, exactly. And, just being completely honest, as was forming my ideas and ideals around crypto and Web3 and decentralization and being so inspired by the music, I dreamed of one day potentially doing this stuff with David and with Polish and really putting this out there in a interesting and very genuine way. And I mean, fast forward a few years and here we are. Like it's mind-blowing to me. And there's at least 2 moments every day where that crosses my mind. And I literally get goosebumps and I'm like, how is this even possible? How is this life?
How is this? Is it real life? Well, that's incredible, man. I mean, it's been amazing to connect with the community, right? That's kind of my role as community manager. So getting to know some of the people in our Discord, Twitter Spaces, adjacent projects like Chris Dyer and Galactic Gang, and I know you got a Galactic Gang on your wall as well, right? So it's like finding synergy between these projects and communities and just doing creative, imaginative, cool things. We kind of like put it all under this umbrella called utility, but I think the sky's the limit. And again, like you're kind of our technical maestro, pulling some of those strings and making some of it come to life. So I just want to say appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I feel honored to be here to contribute. And, the community aspect of it, that's what gets me the most excited about this project. Because, I mean, obviously David's music is fantastic and magical, but like the community that draws in is so cool to work with and so cool and rewarding to build this stuff for. And even just to see people playing around on the NFT gated member platform, like it's so cool to dream up this stuff with the team and then put it out there, and all of a sudden people are downloading music or winning concert tickets or doing all these really, really cool things. And I'm so grateful to be part of this team and so excited for what we're going to do in the future, because I have a sneaking suspicion it's just going to be more and more and more and more.
Well, that's what was going to be my final question, is what maybe excites you kind of as you forecast out, 6 months, 12 months and beyond, either about this project or just, Web3 as it continues to evolve and progress and, move forward.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for a lot. I'm bullish on a lot right now in Web3. You can say that. But I think right now we're kind of at an inflection point where old systems are still here and new systems are getting bigger and shinier every single day. And the awareness around them and the use case around them and the people actually using them is growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. Look at how many crypto ads were up there this year. And I think we're going to hit a phase very soon where the entire industry is going to kind of mature in a sense very, very quickly. And I'm excited to see what becomes possible as more and more people start getting truly involved within the space. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Anybody listening out there could have the next great idea that changes absolutely everything. And you don't have to be technical. You don't have to be a developer. You don't have to be any of these things. It could be as simple as joining a Discord and sharing your idea with the world. So I'm excited for more of that. I'm excited for the music space and the art space to continue to dance around with Web3. And I'm excited to see what is going to get dreamed up by all these creative people trying to figure out how to do something just a little bit differently. And I think what blockchain allows for, it's a set of tools that allow for very rapid advancement around ideas and around culture and around community. And I think we're going to see very quickly, as everything continues to mature, different blockchains or different groups coming up with amazing ideas. And the beauty of open source technology is as soon as somebody comes up with that next greatest idea, it immediately gets incorporated with everybody. So rapid advancement and things that I can't even comprehend today. Yeah. That's what I'm excited about.
To the moon, brother, to the moon.
Yeah, we're already halfway there.
I love it. Well, look, I know you're a busy guy. You need to get back to things. So I just want to say, appreciate you. Thanks for taking time out of your day to sit with me, to sit with folks. You know, again, the whole goal of this podcast is to talk with interesting folks and people who've been in here longer than just 6 months. So fascinating to hear your entire story and kind of journey from, you know, the cannabis days to, you know, real estate, to software development, to music, to Polish, to Camp to Central. I mean, and we're just getting started, man. Like
we're just getting started. And to tell you the truth, I left a lot of
we got the cliff notes here,
out
folks.
of there. We might have to do
might be a part 2
one of these days. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Well, I always love chatting with you, and again, you know, your ability to make these crazy ideas that we have come to life. So yeah, for anyone tuning in that, well, maybe I can leave with, if people want to follow you, you know, ask questions, connect, what's the best way for folks to connect up with you?
Yeah. So probably what I'm the most active on is Discord, which you can just see me in there, wigglework.eth. On Instagram, I'm at Jake Lill. Definitely give me a follow there. Or really anywhere else, WiggleWork or Jake Lill. I'm everywhere.
Excellent.
But Discord or Instagram are usually the best places.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, again, thanks for our folks tuning in today to listen to yet another fabulous conversation. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks with more artists, more musics, more Web3 builders. So Jacob Lill, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend.
All right. This is Dojo. We'll catch you on the next one.